Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Now, with all the statements, the quotes, the interviews, and whatever else coming from Tyson Fury about him retiring, none of it has rung true with me and most people in the world. Most notably because he says these things, but yet refuses to give up the WBC World Heavyweight Championship. If you want to make people a believer, then give up the belt. That's the answer, isn't it? Why you've got the belt, you're not retired. Okay, so quit with the lying. Now, at long last, we may have actually got an honest answer from Tyson Fury, and it appears fear for his own health. Now, he was speaking, I think it was yesterday, and he was talking about the moment he decided maybe it's time to retire was immediately after the third Deontay Wilder fight. And this is what he had to say. I had lumps on the back of my head like fists. I was concussed. I didn't remember anything. I was thinking, did I get put down like 4 times? I think maybe it's time to call it a day. Tyson Fury statement. Now, some people will look at that third fight and think, but he didn't get hit in the back of the head, so therefore his statement must be a lie. Now, for those of you who's been concussed, and for those of you who know professional boxers or boxers in general or people in combat sports, you will know that severe concussion, it will make your body do weird things. Not just the mind or anything, of course that's an additional factor, but you will get lumps on parts of your body, most notably on the head, on the neck, places where you didn't get hit. And that's going to be a scary moment, because it's trauma. People will look at that third Wilder fight and say, but you only really got hit on a couple of occasions. Obviously the one that really stands out is when Wilder threw that right hand straight down the pipe and landed right on the forehead of Tyson Fury. That wasn't on the back of the head. But it's trauma. That's what it is. And Tyson, if this is real, then he needs to take notice of what his body's telling him, because his body is telling him, what, you don't like this? Is this making you a little bit nervous? You wait and see what I'll do to you next if you continue. Now, people can say what they like about Tyson Fury. They really can. They can say he's the greatest of this era. He's the greatest of all time. And other people go, no, he's not. He still needs to prove it. He still needs to fight both Anthony Joshua and Usyk, regardless of who wins that fight. He still needs to see a Joe Joyce or a Filipovic to solidify being the best of this era, which I personally do agree with. But at the same time, does it matter? Should it matter to Tyson Fury what people think? Should it matter what it is that people online who are not going to go around and bring groceries to his family if something worse happens with Tyson? If Tyson takes that one fight too far and gets put out cold, worst case scenario, doesn't get up again. Also a bad scenario of he could be the next Michael Watson or Jared McLennan and Nick Blackwell and that, for example. Do we want to see Tyson Fury as the next Michael Schumacher? No, we don't. We don't. I don't want to be seeing pictures in the newspapers and the online articles of his wife Paris pushing Tyson Fury around the shopping centre in a wheelchair. I don't want to be seeing that. I don't want to be hearing stories of Tyson Fury still hasn't woke up from his coma, thinking about pulling the plug. I don't want to be seeing that. Why? Because he had something to prove? That's the reality of it. He has nothing to prove. Now, me as a boxing fan, I want to see him fight these other people. If he's going to become the greatest of this era, then he has to prove it. But I want to see him in Undisputed. If anybody deserves a crack at the Undisputed in this 4-belt era, it's Tyson Fury. He's earned it. He has earned it. Yes, outside the ring, he's a bullshit king. He's a wind-up merchant. He's all these kind of things. And yes, of course, he's ducked sporting icons. You know, he's come to my city of Newcastle for the last couple of days. At no point did he send me a message to say, yo, meet me up in my hotel. Let's do an interview and let's air out all the things that you've said about me. And I'll clarify them for you. And we're going to even page again. Didn't do that. That's fine. He ducked sporting icons. But anyway, of course, I'm joking about that. But it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what you say. He's got money in the bank. He's got a good family around him. He's got people who care about him. He's quite able to think and go for his runs and continue exercising and all that kind of thing. Retire from the sport rather than let the sport retire you, because this is a warning sign for Tyson. It is. Now, Tyson's a very, very smart boxer. Very, very smart. And we know this, that he can adapt to his opponents. That doesn't mean he's unbeatable. That doesn't mean that one punch can't get through. That doesn't mean he can have a bad night at the office. He's got away with it on a couple of occasions. He's a loss waiting to happen. He is. We've seen the decline on him. And people say, yeah, but he done what he done to Deontay Wilder, and then of course he fought Dillian White. And if he was really serious about retiring after the third Wilder fight, why did he fight Dillian White? Well, because he had a 5-fight deal with Top Rank and ESPN. That 5th fight against Dillian White, that was his final fight. He had no choice but to fight somebody. Why not his mandatory? Why not at Wembley Stadium, 94,000 people? Can that be topped? Can it? Listen, he can go out and get more money, for sure. But he's a very, very smart man. He is smart. He's a bullshit king, but he's very, very smart. When he fought Wilder the first time, he realised for the rematch what he has to do. Wilder can't fight on the back foot. And I've been telling you this for the past few years. Wilder can't do it. When I've done interviews with Dillian White, he said that's how you beat Deontay Wilder. You press him back. He don't like it on the inside. He can't fight on the inside. Tyson Fury recognised that after the first fight. In the rematch, he put it on him. Realised Wilder can't fight when his feet are moving backwards. He can't fight on the inside. That's the safe zone. He recognised that. The danger zone against Deontay Wilder is the outside. Because Wilder can hit you from places that you don't think he'll be able to reach you from. And somehow he manages to do it. That's the danger zone. The safe zone is the inside, pushing him back. And of course, when he's asked the question about, well, why did you fight Dillian White a different way to how you fought Deontay Wilder? Even though it should be pretty obvious. But Tyson Fury's response, very, very simple. Because I ain't stupid. And he's not stupid. He knows what to do. He knew he had to fight Dillian White a different way. Because the danger zone for Dillian White is mid-range inside. That's the danger zone. The safe zone is the outside. If Dillian can't hit you, then he can't beat you. Wait for Dillian to make a mistake, capitalise. And that's exactly what he's done. Fury's a very, very smart boxer. Very, very smart. But being smart is only going to get you so far. It's going to get you through certain fights, no doubt. But ultimately, if he takes, another 10 fights against the top 10 out there, he's going to take a loss or two. It's going to happen. There's no way he's going to escape and not get hit flush. What if he goes down next time and don't get back up again? Suddenly, his legacy, as some people will call it, is in tatters. For what? He didn't need to prove anything. Who cares whether or not people think he's the best of all time or the best of it? Who cares? I said, these people are not going to do the shopping for Tyson and his family. They're not going to do his Tuesday morning tip runs and his Passat for him, as Tyson Fury says. They ain't going to do that for him. They're not going to take his dog for a walk. People will just look online and go, oh, poor Tyson. That's about as far as it's going to go. So, why not? If your body's giving you these warning signs, get out of Dodge. Get out. He can look back on his career with a lot of pride. He can look in his trophy cabinet and see every belt that the heavyweight division has to offer. With the exception of the area belt, of course. He's never won that one. Maybe it wasn't available. But he's got money in the bank. He's got family and that around him. He ain't got to prove nothing to me. He ain't going to prove nothing to anybody. I don't want to see him in a wheelchair. And as much as I want to see him in the Undisputed and all that kind of stuff, if this is true and he's getting lumps in places where he shouldn't be getting lumps, listen to your body. I said before, don't like what it's doing to you right now? Look what could well happen. Take it as a warning shot. You won't like what it does next. Call up WBC, vacate that belt. If not, you're not retired. Go risk it. Why not? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.